blue zone is an area in the world that has a longer life expectancy than many other parts in the world. There are four known blue zones that are commonly documented: one in Okinawa, Japan, another in Sardinia, Italy, a third in the Nicoya Peninsula of Costa Rica, and a fourth in Ikaria, Greece. A blue zone is a region of the world where the life expectancy is far succeeding 80 years of age, which is common in other parts of the world. This is mostly due to a bunch of different lifestyle changes. It's a combination of physical activity, rich social interactions, a change in diet, and low disease incidence. The name blue zones actually just came from the scientists who initially discovered it. They found those areas that had a higher life expectancy and circled it with a blue pen or marker. The history of blue zones began in 1999 in Sardinia, Italy, when a study found that there were 13 out of 100,000 people that were over 100 years old. While that was in 1999, a 2004 follow-up study in the Sardinia, Italy region, or that blue zone, found that in the specific province of Nuoro, there was a higher incidence. And while the locally born men in that province tended to live longer than the rest of Sardinia, Italy, the reason for this longevity was particularly unknown. The original study looked at centenarians, or people 100 years of age or older, in 14 mountain ranges in Sardinia, Italy, which was the first documented blue zone in the world. The research team invented the Extreme Longevity Index, or the ELI. The ELI was defined as the number of centenarians, or people 100 years of age or older, per 10,000 births in that region during the time period. Another longevity index was the CR, or the centenarian rate, for the 1900 birth group in December of 2000. The Sardinia and Okinawa blue zones in Italy and Japan, respectively, had CR values for men that were substantially higher than several other countries around the world, whereas the values for women were typically higher, but were also comparable to other countries when in terms of life expectancy. Now, at this point, there are documentaries on Netflix, there are web pages promoted to better living so you can live longer through all of these things, but correlation and causation are very different things. Because while you may watch this documentary or move to one of these locations, you really need to commit to the lifestyle changes necessary in order to have this longer life. Moving to one of these places isn't going to automatically increase your life expectancy by a decade or more. You're going to have that diet change, have that lifestyle change of those rich social interactions, and try and reduce your stress. According to one of these websites that promotes longer living in blue zones, there are 9 influential things that you can do in order to increase your life expectancy. The first step is to move naturally. It says that you don't need to go to the gym and pump iron every day, but simply moving when it comes to working, having a garden, or not doing such mechanical work, getting 10,000 steps a day or even 1,000 steps a day, just to get up and move naturally. The second thing is having a purpose, knowing why you're waking up every single day. The Okinawans call it ikigai, and the Nicoyans call it plan de vida, which both roughly translate to why they wake up in the morning or what they do with their life. According to, again, one of these pages, knowing your sense of purpose is worth up to 7 years of extra life expectancy. The third thing is downshift, which is essentially the idea of reducing your stress. Even people in blue zones experience this stress, but the idea is to experience a lot less of it than comparative regions around the world. You can reduce the stress in many different ways, whether that's praying, taking a nap, having a happy hour, or simply having those social interactions. Something that works for you to simply reduce your stress. That doesn't have to be following one of these things. It can simply be something that you know reduces your stress after you've found that purpose and completed all your work for the day. The fourth is the 80% rule. Okinawans practice an idea of eating 80% of your stomach, eating 80% until you feel full, saving that last 20% from when you feel hungry to feel full. Most people in blue zones eat their smallest meal in the late afternoon or the early evening, where other people typically eat dinner as their biggest meal. And these people in blue zones don't often eat for the rest of the day after that meal. The fifth thing it says to do for a healthier lifestyle is called the plant slant. Most centenarian diets include beans, whether that's black beans, soybeans, or other lentils. In most of these diets, meat's typically eaten about 5 times a month, and the bean serving size is about 3 to 4 ounces, or the size of a deck of playing cards. The controversial number 6 is wine at 5. Besides Adventists, people in blue zones drink moderately and regularly. The idea for this is having 1 to 2 glasses of wine per day over the course of the week instead of having 14 glasses, let's say, on Sunday with friends or with your meals. Rule number 7 is belong, or have a belonging. Of 263 centenarians interviewed in one of these studies, all but 5 of these people had some faith-based organization they were a part of. Denomination doesn't really matter, but having some sort of organization that you go to roughly every week. Number 8 is loved ones first, or family first. Successful centenarians in these blue zones put their family first when it comes to it. This means committing to a life partner, having your children in your home, and having your grandparents in the home so you're all in one big community. It means not only investing in yourself, but investing in your family, in those children with time and love. And the last one, number 9, is finding the right tribe. The world's longest lived people were born into or were a part of tribes. this meaning social circles that supported healthy behaviors. Research from the Framingham study shows that obesity, smoking, happiness, and even loneliness are contagious. So supporting yourself with a social circle that supports positive behaviors. So the social networks of these centenarians have favorably shaped their health behaviors. But again, if you live in one of these zones or move to one of these zones thinking that it means you're going to turn 100 years old, it doesn't exactly mean that. Correlation and causation are different things. Do you think this is something you could do even in your own home? Do you think it's something you could do in your own community or something that you're already doing and practicing? Personally, I think some of these lifestyle changes would be very easy, and I think other ones would be very hard. I think that reducing stress would be one of the hardest, but it's something that you can kind of do to an extent. I think it'd be semi-easy to drink wine and to cut down on my meat and to incorporate beans in my diet. I think it'd honestly be hard to maintain a healthy relationship with a close social circle. But that being said, I truly think that in order to live to 100 years or older, you have to have won the genetic lottery and kind of get lucky. Although you can do your very best by incorporating some of these things into your own life in order to potentially increase your life expectancy. Let me know what you think about blue zone living and centenarians down in the comments. Otherwise, I'll see you all in the next one.